Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Saṅgham saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Vichācarana sampanno Om Sarvamangalam Mangalye Shive Sarvadasadike Saranye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute. I like to talk about the 7 levels of life. There are 7 different levels life can enjoy. From Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, he's talking about 7 states of consciousness, life on different levels. Individual levels composed of waking state, sleeping state, and dreaming state. This is 3 levels from the individual. When you lost your individuality, you become the 4th state called transcendental reality, or Paramat. In Sanskrit, Parame Vyoman. The state where you're beyond the space and time. This is the 4th level of living. When we experience that transcendental reality, we feel different because the process of going beyond from within, it's the process of expansion. In other words, your analytic reality becomes synthesis. You become less and less, and at the same time you become bigger and bigger. So you become small, at the same time you become big and big and big. Just like you're going to sleep. From the beginning you lie down, you're still a big individual because you carry all this responsibility, these thoughts, this impression that I am, my home, my family, my bank account. My, many of your mind. And then gradually the metabolism in the body is starting to become less active. Mental, of course, become less active. Then you start to expand. And then the more you become less in thinking, is the more you are expanding. This is a fantastic vision to realize. So you can accumulate material world, but yet without expand on the spiritual world, then that accumulation becomes a problem. And that's why many philosophers and many religions in the world today, they practice or they preach suffering and go beyond the suffering. You have to go through it. You have to find a course of suffering, all these things. Whereas today, we don't want to turn into suffering. We want to immediately go to the light, turn on the light, and dispel the darkness. This is what we are here for. Darkness is there, but we do not mind that. Problem is there, suffering is there. But why should we go after it? If we only know we can reduce our attention or our activity of the mind, then we gradually distance from all those darkness. And then, all of a sudden, the individual ego disappears. Where are you then? You are somewhere where you realize your own purity, you realize your own fullness. That's the 4th levels of living. We call transcendental reality, or Parame Vyoman. When that is experienced mentally, of course, you can only experience when you live in this nervous system or the body or the brain or the heart. At the same time, your nervous system starts to experience that emptiness. That fourth state, mentally also experience it physically. Then the body on the nervous system starting to realize its own emptiness, or its own junction point, or its own middle part, whatever you call it, between two cells, two atoms, two thoughts, two dreams, two sleep. You have that junction point. And that's just the fourth state, fourth levels of living. You can only experience that when your mind becomes simple, go inward, synthesis, simple, more simple, and then disappear. This experience you need a technique, mental technique. And Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, he came to the world just for this purpose. Give a simple technique to the busy mind so that the mind could experience transcendental reality, at the same time culturing the nervous system to realize that state of emptiness. That means that the intelligence in your atom starting to realize its own nature. When that happens, it wants it because the force of evolution is lively on that level. So the force of evolution is responsible to bring individual from level 1 to level 7. Now we are at the 4th level. In this level, when you dropped into that level, you're not aware because you're still busy of something else. The past impression will not allow you, or the nervous system cannot allow you to be permanently established in that. But gradually, if you visiting that transcendental reality, regular day 2-3 times a day, then it's the nervous system or the body starting to function from that level. It's remember its own nature. Then it started function from that. Then when you establish that light permanently, 24 hours a day, then darkness have no rooms or have no chance to return. Of course, the darkness will be there, but on a different wall. You just lock the wall or lock the door, so the darkness could not come to this room where you enjoy maximum bliss. So in our life, we will have both now. We have both rooms. One room is full of light, the other room is dark. And this light we associate with sometimes silence, infinite silence. In Sanskrit we call Gyan Shakti. Then the power of knowledge, the power of fullness, the power of Ananda. And in the dark room, associate that with dynamism, infinite dynamism, or Griya Shakti. Griya means the dynamic, that everything which, like the waves just come out from the ocean, is Griya, the dynamics part of life. So these two opposite values should be coexist. We should not think about we only want one. You can survive without two opposite values interact with each other continuously. That's where the force of evolution is function. This we should now clearly understood. Do not mind the darkness, but of course we do not want to go and deal with them. We prefer the light. We just go to the room and turn on the light. We don't mind where is the darkness going to be and how this darkness come about. No, we just enjoy the light. And this is what and then we are talking about the 5th levels of living. Now when you can separate the two, dark and light, permanently, then you're on the fifth level of living. Sometimes we call cosmic consciousness. Cosmic, that means you're complete. Your development is already complete because you can live full lit light room without minding the darkness room. At the beginning, you're in the dark and you want light. That's why you try so hard all day and night just to get out of that dark room. But you're too busy consider why it's so dark, what is the cause of this dark, and how to get out of it. The whole life is spent by contemplating to get rid of the darkness. Today, you don't do that. Today, we said, now we would unmind the dark room. We just go where the switch is and whisper to the generator and get the light. Simple as that. Now we go to the sixth levels living. When you're in the fourth, you're simple. When you're more simple, you're in the fifth. That means you can separate the two identity. Your identity with the world, your identity with the spiritual knowledge. And that's the fourth. And then later on, when it's clear, when you become more simple, you can separate the two. And when you live two values, always witnessing, intelligence, at the same time action in the daily life. That's the fifth. And then when you become more and more cultured, more refined, the nervous system become more pure through daily activity, daily living, daily food, daily environment is providing that you will have much more perception, deeper perception, more simplest. You become more simplest. Then the awareness penetrate and expand unlimited. Because that's the sixth level. Sometimes we call God consciousness or divinity consciousness. You become more divine. And your perception around you only perceive divine. Of course, the material darkness is there, the light room is there, but your appreciation more on the divinity levels. Now, this is the sixth level of living, where many yogis and rishi established that. Of course, there are few in this darkness world or Kali Yuga world today, but there are always some people in the world today have that kind of experiences. Now, from the sixth, we go to the seventh level. Seventh level, that means when you perceive divine from within and from without, or from the environment, then the expansion of the heart becomes more refined. You become most infinite, most simplest. Then you see yourself as the witnesser. You see yourself in every object that you perceive. So you're one with everything. You're one with the whole universe. And that's the 7 levels. You're one with God and other. Then you can name it anything. Adidaiva, or unity consciousness, or Brahman consciousness, like that. Well, I feel good to share this wisdom to you, but now every day I will be sharing something on this line. Next topics I'll talk about how to prepare to let your body become dead. It's very interesting. Jai Gurudev.